All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity race here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. This will be race number 5 of 12, already crossed the halfway point in the season. So we're getting down to it, somehow already into the second half. And I say obviously a little bit of a kind of a competitive one here tonight as we've kind of competing against NASCAR. Don't worry, no spoilers there. Kind of selfish of them to kind of put a race on in our time slot, but what are you going to do? So hope you're all having a wonderful evening and a wonderful Labor Day weekend. And yeah, so we're getting to it right now. Drivers are going to go ahead and get their qualifying laps in as we speak. And then we will get things underway here. Again, 78 laps, our scheduled distance. 2 fast repairs available to these drivers with 3 attempts of a green white checkered should we need it. And also definitely gotta give a big shout out to these drivers here. They're making the time out of their weekend to be able to hop in and have some fun racing tonight. Unfortunately missing a few of our regulars, but definitely look forward to seeing them back again next week, because some obviously just kind of commitments and things of that nature, and some just I'm probably out and about a little bit. So again, looking forward to it. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening, and we will get things going here in just a few minutes as they continue qualifying. Alright, and while we wait for things to finish up in qualifying, let's pull up our points for tonight's event, or after last week's event, I should say. Gabe Butler finishing second last week. He still holds on to lead by 28 points over Robert DuPont. JD Crow sitting there in third. And actually looking at the list, this is not accurate because this is not showing the 4 starts. It's stuck on the 3 that it was previously on. And so I'm not sure if I can get this to refresh or not. So unfortunately this may not be 100% accurate. And actually here we go. Let's see if this will do some magic. There we are. Alright, there you go. 32-point lead over JD Crow. JD jumping up into second spot after his big win last week. And then you got Todd Siebels, Les Levy, Vicente Guerrero are top 5. And then you have in 6th Robert DuPont, Cody Nagels, and Charles Johnson are those in the playoff positions as they currently are. So we'll see how that's going to shake out, as it looks like qualifying has just completed here. So we're going to jump over and get pulled up first off with our starting grid for tonight's event. And it looks like our pole sitter is going to be the number 25 tonight of Kevin Freeze over Gabe Butler there by 0.06 of a second. Actually a tie between Gabe Butler and Gary Jenkins there for second. And then you got Zach Workman, Eric Laurie, JD Crow, Robert Rock, David Bond, Robert DuPont, and Cody Nagels are top 10. 11th, you got Bud Steele, Tom Dixon in 12th. As we continue down the running order here. In 13th, Vicente Guerrero, Randy Miner, Dean Wilkinson, Robert Jordan, Ivan Deschamps, Ron Blackwell, David Overstreet, Paul Turner, Dude Conrad, Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington, and Guy Bracco in 24th. And then 25th, last on grid, the 96 of Fuzz Yater. So that is going to be our grid for tonight. I was waiting for the field all to get gridded up here, so we will get things underway in just a moment. And also, in just a moment, also should get my partner in crime on board here, that Matt Wagner, one of our admins, one of our broadcasters, one of our racers, does a little bit of everything, so always a fun to have him with me in the booth here as well. And again, no worries for spoilers on the NASCAR race for those that are maybe waiting to watch that after it's over or kind of try and bounce between this and that. So don't worry about that over here. We'll be fully focused on the Area 51 race we have this evening. And right now, just got a couple cars left to grid here. So we'll see. Right now, it looks like showing about three more needing to grid. And then we will get underway here in just a moment. Alright, looks like all 25 cars have taken to the grid, so we're going to see that pace car roll off here in just a moment. And we'll see that front row of Kevin Freese and Gabe Butler roll off to start the field up. You get Gary Jenkins, Zach Workman, and then here come the rest of the field to take that warm-up lap before we get going for our 78 scheduled laps. Of course, always potential of green-white checkers here, so wait to see it. So you can't plan on 78 on the dot. Always a chance of it going into the overtime round, so maybe 80, 85 laps even if we go all the way through the extra round. So we'll wait and see as these guys head into turn number 1 here to start that pace lap.
Hello, Gaio.
There's that partner in crime of Matt Wagner. Welcome over, sir. So these guys just finished gridding up here. We're going to have 25 cars strong for tonight's event. And it's going to be fun to see what these guys have in store for us. Again, a few less cars than usual, but again, love to see the dedication from these guys. Appreciate them hopping on here over holiday weekend, and so they're going to put on a show for us tonight here as well.
Yeah, for me, I probably wouldn't be racing, but these guys are more dedicated than I am. So I got my eyes on both, but I'm fully focused on our Area 51 race here tonight.
Yeah, the rule number 1, though, is no spoilers, Matt, because we know one of our boys, Chad Cole, he's got that VCR rolling, and he's got that race ready to be watched later on tonight or tomorrow. So we can't spoil this race for him this evening as well. But no, hope you're all having a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. And yeah, so these guys are getting ready to put on a race here tonight. Again, Talladega, it's got that magical extra 8 feet of width, Matt. It just makes all the difference for that 2 to 3 wide racing. And of course, the apron also just a little more forgiving here compared to over at Daytona. So up front, though, again, Kevin Freese in control. And saying again, look at the boot knockers, though. They are all right together here. You got the 25, the 1, the 90, the 071 right there, the 5 as well. So again, in good succession here. So we'll see here as it's going to head over to Kevin Freese. We'll watch here and we'll listen as he heads through the start-finish line. Again, he has to wait for that initial restart zone for this initial start here, Matt. Can't go before the green flag flies for that initial start. After that, he has full control as he gets that restart zone. Green flag is out, and we are away. 78 laps, our scheduled distance, as the field gets going, heading into turn number 1 at speed. So far, a big charge from that inside line here, almost clearing the front 2 rows almost. So again, here's going to get that big shove off of the backstretch for Gabe Butler to have a chance to see if he can get up alongside Kevin Freese as they head down the back for the first time. Again, still building up all the speed in these cars. Usually, especially in the draft, takes about half a lap, 3/4 of a lap. These guys will just be about at their top speed now through 3 and 4. And right now, again, I think we'll see probably not too much craziness yet. But give it a lap or two, let everything settle in, and then we'll start to see that third lane come to fruition. As you already see, there's the 8 dude, Conrad. He said, yeah, I'm ready to get to the top. Bud Steele saw that and said, yeah, I'll go right on there with you, sir. So there they go. They're going to work their way to that top side. And say, looking like sporting some new paint scheme here. That 06 of Cody Nagels putting the Red Bull machine back on. Maybe, again, possible spoilers, but maybe in response to the Formula 1 race earlier today. So again, hopefully those that haven't watched it won't give spoilers there as well. So no spoilers. That third lane starting to form, though. You got the 6, the 8, and the 68, as if in perfection by the way those car numbers got themselves organized. And why don't we add the 06 to the mix there as well, as Cody Nagels, he's going to try to jump up top here as well.
You've already spoiled a guy out, but we're seeing 3 wide already.
Yeah, and actually a lot of them jumped straight to the bottom there. Now you got the 06 and the 6 together. Dude, Conrad, he decided he's going to jump to the middle. David Overstreet in the 68. He's kind of just dropped back just a little bit for now. So I wouldn't say that the 3x3 is at full strength yet. And actually, look at Gabe Butler. This is a surprise. Usually we see him drop to the apron to get to the back. I think, you see a moment there for Zach Workman as well in the 18 car. Looking like strategy here. I think these guys probably trying to drop back. I don't think they want to lead this third lane. That's going to make things a little awkward for the 6 and the 06 and now the 68. Expect to see them probably drop to the middle if they can. You can see the right there. That was a nice gesture there by that 68, letting the 06 slide on in here. And yeah, I think the 18 and the 1 here opting to maybe drop a little bit further back right now. So up front, that puts Kevin Freese back to the point with help from that 90 of Gary Jenkins. Now Eric Laurie and the 5 of JD Crow, JD being last week's winner, they line up here on the second lane together.
I don't think Gabe led any laps, did he?
I'm not sure. I think he just maybe didn't. I think he may have felt like he was just kind of pinned on the top and didn't want to stay where he was. And so I wouldn't be surprised, Gabe. He'll get some opportunities to get to the front later on in this one. So not too concerned about that one car as of yet. But yeah, I'm not sure if he got a lap led in or not as of yet in this one. So what we do know, though, is Eric Laurie and 25 Kevin Freese, they're going to work on getting those laps led early and often here. As here comes again that 6 of Bud Steele. He's jumped back up. Again, he's got the 8 with him this time. Again of Duke Conrad, but now add Dean Wilkinson to the mix. So again, these guys starting to get a little bit bigger, a little more strength in numbers here. As also got to mention Team Extreme kind of creeping in that main pack as well with that 33 and the 411 right there lined up nose to tail. You see there Eric Laurie clears the 25. He drops to the inside in front of Kevin, which will now let JD Crow lead that middle lane.
I'm watching that outside line. They got a full head of steam.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about the plate racing, Matt, is the fact that even though your foot's to the floor this whole way through, just the way this track is, the way you have to drive these cars here, on the inside you probably lose a little bit of momentum just with having to keep that car tighter up against the yellow line. Middle lane, again, you can open the wheel up a little bit more. Then that third lane, you can kind of really keep that wheel really opened, and it just, while you're going the longer distance, you're still able to keep, I think, less wheel in the car, allows you to kind of just have that little more exit speed, a little more momentum on exit. And so that's why it's so interesting to see is kind of which one is the preference. As you see there, the 071 Eric Laurie quickly drops down to the apron here. He's going to let the field go on by him. As he's got his lap led, he said, all right, I'm going to go find my buddy in that one car. As he's going to slide, and nope, he's going to run the apron just a little further here. And again, this is something you can do at Talladega. You cannot do at Daytona. And so he's going to drop just a little further back. So that's why you see him, again, that's pretty impressive too, how hard you can run the apron with these cars, even at speed. So so back up front, Kevin Freese continues to lead the way on the inside line. And now the outside, now the 6, actually, he's got to the middle lane of Bud Steele, but that's now put the 8 and the 55 of Dude Conrad and Dean Wilkinson now leading that third lane. And they have an opening right here if they choose, so they could slot right down in front of that 33. And I think this is a good opportunity. I think they should have taken it, and they do. So they get down to the middle. So that third lane's kind of fizzled out once more as Bud Steele now leading that second line.
Well, you know, Bud does have one person in his chat box. That'd be that 171 Robbie Rock. We haven't talked much about him like all season long. Sitting there quietly in third spot. Hopefully them two can work together and get themselves toward the front.
Yeah, I think definitely we will see them at some point try to get hooked up together. And I was saying, again, you talk about drivers that may not be formal teammates, but I would suspect we'd see them work together. Obviously, the 171 and the 6. I would put the 55 in mix of that as well with Dean Wilkinson. Yeah. And also I would add the 101 of Randy Minor. Expect to see Randy work with those guys as well. So they've got a couple cars that they'll be able to work along with here with one another. Right. Yeah, the question will be which ones, who jumped up to the top there pretty abruptly. I think that may have been the 69, it was, 69 of Guy Bracco. Seemed like he made it pretty sharp right there to get to the outside. Not sure if something happened or if he said, yeah, I'm not ready for this yet. But he drops to the back here. But Matt, I got to go a little further back in the field because I have a paint scheme that I just absolutely love here, and it's fitting for Talladega.
What's that?
And that is the Laughing Clown Malt Liquor Camaro of Paul Turner in that number 4 machine, say from the Talladega Nights movie, and say it definitely stands out with that purple and orange and red, and yeah, so I love what he's got going on with that number 4 machine tonight.
Wow. Yeah. He's got the right number though. For the same font as Kevin Harvick's there.
Yeah, these guys like to have fun with the paint scheme. So right now, not a lot of craziness going on. Right now, the biggest mover at the moment is that number 8 of Dude Conrad. He's worked up 15 positions into the top 6 as they run. Working soon to be towards the top 5 here. He can continue to push that 5 and the 6 on forward like they are. And then second to that would be the 82 of Dan Harrington, that Transformers Camaro down the inside line here. He is plus 10 as there goes Bud Steele, clears that number 25 of Kevin Freese. Now Bud's going to lead that inside line in front of that Kellogg's machine as they go into one more time. And now it's going to be J.D. Crowe leading that second lane with a very familiar number 8 of Dude Conrad right behind him. So these would be definitely a stout duo there.
It was quite a moment back there. I was watching the 69 and 96. Almost made contact with one another.
Yeah, it looks like they've got it all sorted out now. And yeah, 69 up top with the 06 of Cody Nagels. And that'll be the next one, Mads, waiting to see if Cody can find a way to get to Vicente. As you see Cody actually drop to the inside line. And I'm kind of wondering, Matt, I'm seeing a lot. Again, I wonder how much of this is just that risk versus reward early on. But I'm also wondering how many of these drivers are maybe trying to look at those fuel numbers. I mean, it's pretty much something we talk about weekly now. With this thing being 78 laps here, if you can go 26, ideally 27 laps on fuel, that could turn this thing into a 2-stop race instead of a 3-stopper. So really, this was pretty much a guaranteed 2-stop race when it was a 75-lap race. But these 3 extra laps has really put a wrench into the fuel mileage strategy for some of these drivers. So that will be very intriguing as well to see is kind of what's the strategy for some of these guys. And I kind of suspect that might be why we've seen drivers like Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler just kind of drop to the back here and not really push too hard yet. Zach Workman, also one of those that's found his way towards the back there in that number 18 Toyota of the, I keep wanting to say Instacart, but oh no, it is Instacart, I'm sorry. So I thought he had one of the throwback schemes, but in that Instacart Toyota. So yeah, right now I think there's definitely some fuel saving going on here. As up front here, we're almost looking 3 wide for a second there with the 8 and the 5, and JD Crowe's getting split here.
Yes,
did not expect to see that out of the 5 and the 8 there.
Well, I'm going to quote Darrell Waltrip on this one. He is stuck in these sucker holes. Everybody is avoiding him at the moment.
Yeah, that's an odd one because I mean we know how stout that 5 car is, and yeah, you can see 2 of them got around the 33s, also going to complete the pass. However, unfortunately, the 411 of Tom Dixon kind of got caught looking. He tried to get there, but then the hole kind of refilled back to the middle, and so now he's left trapped out on the outside line. And right now, the soonest he can get back is behind that 69 of Guy Bracco. So we'll see if he can tag in right behind him in that Blue Moon machine. And yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. So, but up front, though, that move by Dude Conrad looks like it's going to be a very fruitful one because he is now right up alongside that 6 of Bud Steele once more. And say when Dude is here, when he's able to run these full races, he is always one to watch out for. He just unfortunately hasn't been able to make all the races regularly, but right now showing what will happen if you get caught up with him too often. I'll say you're going to be fighting for him to have a chance at these wins.
And don't count on Kevin Freese.
Oh no, yeah, that's a pretty much a guarantee of someone you have to watch week in and week out for that number 25 Kellogg's machine. So, and that's the thing is just he hasn't been able to be in position yet to be the beneficiary of maybe having a teammate or a friendly face kind of pushing him at the end. He's kind of been the one to help his teammates a lot in the later portions of these races. So, yeah, he's going to want to try to get that last pit stop done to perfection where he can be the one leading the field off the exit of pit road, and then he can kind of be that one to get the push from his friends or teammates or what have you. So, but right now, though, he's doing a good job of keeping Bud Steele right up front with these guys. But again, I still think, though, probably managing temperatures, managing fuel, tires, no concern there. But yeah, I think these guys are probably running to a fuel number, which again, Matt, would be probably in about another, ideally 11 to 12 more laps before they would want to hit Pirota. Like I said, I think the magic number here is going to be 26, 27 if you can. I feel a lot better if I can make it 27 with a couple friends.
Yeah, that just reminded me of the truck race I took a part of. Right from the start, right from the get-go, on the pace laps, just managing fuel. Just it's very tight. Let's just say, put it that way.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so you just have to make that decision of how hard do you want to push, and do you want the track position, do you want the fuel saving, but maybe be a little further back, because I say you never know what's going to happen where on track. That's always the risk versus reward. As though the 27 catches the wall, he's going to get into the 82 of Dan Harrington. Back in the wall, still trying to hang on to it. This is the danger I was talking about, though. Maybe being a little bit too far back, you might risk losing the draft. But it looks like we're going to gather everything back up. Here's the 4 of Paul Turner's going to get by. This will risk Ron here of losing the draft. As right now he's about a 6/10 back, and it's growing in the wrong direction here. So we'll have to keep an eye. But up front here, we got smoke up front. The 55 Dean Wilkinson motor has blown on the 55.
No.
He got up and out of the way here, but now he's got to try to limp that car all the way around here for another half a lap here. Let's go back and see if we can find what happened to Dean here, because he was right up in contention right here. So let's go here.
I'm hearing nothing out of his cockpit. Quiet.
Yeah, we'll hop on board and listen in. Oops, or I pressed the wrong button and go to the wrong spot. Let's go back one more time here. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, it just kind of started sputtering on Dean there. So unfortunately, yeah, I would suspect that means just the car overheated there. So Dean hitting pit road, Ron Blackwell also on pit road. So 2 drivers here within about a lap succession, both with different issues, but very, very important issues for them, though, that now they're going to have a hard time to recover from these. But importantly, though, Ron, he's made his way onto pit road, as has Dean in the 55. So for Dean, this is going to take a faster bear here. He will get the motor replaced with the fast bear. You see grabbing gear, getting back going. Ron Blackwell still sitting on pit road. Looks like tires also going on the 27 machine, but it looks like a lengthy stop for him. But for Dean here, he's going to get rolling, and this could still work okay for Dean, Matt, because as he gets up to speed, here comes the field, and I think he should be able to merge pretty much with this lead pack. So he'll be pretty much either tail end of the lead lap or first car one down, as Ron Blackwell still sits on pit road here. But unfortunately, it definitely takes one of our heavy hitters out of contention so far in this race. But again, still over 60 to go in this one, so don't count anybody out at this point. But yeah, right now things definitely settling in here. Not a lot of drivers really running the top side. You got Robert Rock leading the 101 of Randy Meyer. They're working together, bringing along that 69 of Guy Bracco, and then the 411 of Tom Dixon. Other than that, though, you see you have to go a fair ways back to get to the next car on the outside line, which I believe is not the 96 here, it's the 019 of Ivan Deschamps. He's trying to run that second line as well, see if he can get up a little bit further there with these guys. As they're working their way around Dean Wilkinson, you see Dean getting lapped here. He's going to drop to the middle, pick up some draft, get that momentum built back up. But so that will put Dean 1 down here on lap number 19. So Matt, again, these guys, I think if they can go 6-7 more laps again, I mean, I'm probably going to harp on it pretty much all race long unless we get that caution that kind of shakes the field up. But right now, let's say that's going to be, to me, that's the magic number. As you see, also now the 27 of Ron Blackwell, he gets passed by these guys, going now, unfortunately, 2 laps down. So right now, Dean, the only car 1 down. The 27 of Ron Blackwell, the only car 2 down. So right now for Dean, just needs to play it safe and kind of work his numbers. And might have to work on some strategy here for how to kind of minimize his time loss. Might consider maybe just trying to run this one long, but still pit with other people and just take a shorter pit stop here. But up front, we're going to go back to front here because Robert Rock, he is working for the front here, as this 3-car draft is really working strong.
Yeah, if I was Dean Wilkinson, he's the only car lap down. I would just try and pit with the leaders, just to stay with them. You pretty much want to stay in the same cycle as them. Say if he does get a caution, he will be that first car lap down, because some of these other drivers make mistakes on pit road do happen, and we do see a lot here in these races. and it costs you a dear amount of time.
Yeah, and the other thing for Dean is he can really short pit his car too. So I'm almost thinking for Dean, if he can find, if there's a way for him to find out who is the driver that maybe can go to lap 27, let's say, like maybe like a Gabe Butler or someone like that. If he can kind of lead those guys and be with that pack and running the long fuel run, and then pit with them, he'll have a lot shorter of a pit stop, as he'll only need probably about maybe half a tank of fuel at most, compared to everybody else having to fill their tanks up all the way. So for me, if I'm Dean, I think, if you can go find out who's going to be going long and then jump in with them. So we'll see. I do need to mention, though, say these guys here a little further back, you got Gabe Butler. But then again, you look at this group further back here, the 019 and 27 and the 4. These guys are getting at danger. They're kind of trying to jumping each other here. Not sure why they're not staying in line. As right now you can see the 4 on the inside, the 019 and 27 on the outside. And that gap is starting to grow to about half a second between them and Gabe Butler. So they got to be careful here, because right now you got a pretty steady train on that inside line.
It's pretty much the same thing that I did in a truck race. If I was further back, say like some of those cars way back there, I would start to make my move coming up more toward the front, because some of these other guys who've been running up front have been burning more fuel while you've been back there saving. It's going to pay off. You're going to gain a ton of time.
Yeah, right now Robert Rock was able to get that push. He's now in the point for that 171. So I would say it's always good to have the track position. You also wonder, Kevin Free's probably not too upset about this, because now he's able to save a little bit of fuel off the back of that 171. Probably just managing his throttle where you can just kind of stay maybe 3/4 or so of a throttle to hold the draft nice and tight to the 171, but not having to worry. No need to push that car, because right now you can see everybody's all pretty much single file on the inside line. That being said, though, the pace of the race still isn't too bad right now. 50:35 last time by, and then some of the fastest laps of the race are in the mid to the high 49s. Of course, that's when you're getting a really big tow. So I think right now these guys are holding a pretty steady pace. They haven't really dropped the pace down a ton, which we have seen from time to time when they really are trying to go big fuel saves, where they drop about a second or two off of their normal pace. So right now, though, I think I think these guys are just waiting for that pit stop, though, Matt, because again, that's really, I think, to me, the make or break part of this race for a lot of these drivers, just knowing if they can get in and out of the pits quickly, that's going to be their way of maybe trying to break this field up here.
I am very, very surprised I have not seen Gabe Butler try to come up and make up some time.
I'm thinking that might mean that he is just right on the edge of maybe doing that extra lap or two that he's maybe trying to get after there in the one car. So, and it's saying right now we're going to be coming around to 25 this time here. Again, I don't foresee anybody hitting pit road this time. I think it's going to be next time most likely that we see these drivers hit pit road. But I do think that, I think that's when you're going to see, I'd say probably about this next lap or so. Again, if you're safely able to make it on that one extra lap or two extra laps potentially, I think that's where I'm going to drop the hammer and try to get some track position before that pit stop occurs. And sure enough, you can see nobody ducking off on the pit road as of yet. So these guys all going at least 25 laps here. Again, 26 to me is the bare minimum. I think 27, just to build yourself just the tiniest of margins, I think is what you want to have here.
I 100% agree with you. I think some of these guys toward the back, I think you're pretty good at hitting 27 here. Your guys up front, not so good, like your Kevin Freeze and Six of Bud Steele. All the guys have been running up front the whole time.
Yeah, Kevin definitely did a lot of leading early on in this race, so I feel like he's definitely probably one of the ones that's burned some more fuel than the others. Obviously, Robert Rock lately now leading, also probably burning a fair bit. Obviously, right now burning the most of anybody here. But right now, no takers, Matt. So these guys, they're watching that fuel number like a hawk, and these guys are all going to make 26 here, coming around to 27. So based on what I'm seeing right now, this tells me that we're good to go on that fuel number. As you see the 19 actually on pit road. And I think he may have had a moment there getting on the pit road. I'm not sure if that was the planned pit stop or if he may have got a little bit of assistance getting on the pit road. And no, it looks like maybe a little bit too much rear brake in the 019. Nope, actually looks like he got a nice clean entry there. Just for a moment, it looked like something was off. So the 19 kind of pitting off by himself there. So now we wait, though. Now the question is, are we going to have 22 drivers possibly hitting pit road together here, Matt? because that's when things get very, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, the 19 had a little assistance from the 27. He was on the apron entering turn number 4. That's where you saw the rear damage from the 19.
All right, so here comes a we got the 33 around the 69 around as well on pit entry. And you see, a few having to come to pretty much a complete stop. No, say no yellow here. So unfortunately for David Bond and Guy Bracco, definitely some serious damage to both of their machines. Going to need fast repairs here. See if we can find what happened to Guy Bracco and David Bond on pit road entry. And you can see actually they're all lined up with each other here. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit here. Watching that 33 and the 96. Oh, they just got into each other under the brakes. And big hits for those two drivers. And unfortunately, both of them having pretty big shots there. So we'll jump back up front because now this will be the next group. This will be coming around the second time by for them to hit pit road. I would suspect we'll see the rest of them. There's Dean Wilkinson. Looks like he's going to continue to stay out like we suspected. And this is going to be the next group hitting pit road. And again, a lot of tire smoke here. Seems like maybe drivers don't have the brakes quite adjusted like they were hoping to, but looks like much cleaner, calmer entry on pit road. You see Zach Workman trying to get his way to the top here. These guys all have to try to figure out where they qualified in relation to each other so they don't stack on each other like right there, just almost a moment there by the 06. You see Eric Laurie having to pretty much go through the gaps there, and that's unfortunate what you got to do from time to time, but so far so good for these guys. For those that exited pit road, looks like Kevin Freeze, Robert Rock, they win that race off of pit road. And right now, pretty well formed here for about the top 5 or 6 as a second group just rolling off of pit road now. So this will be the race to see who's going to cycle out where in relation to each other. But right now, say the momentum is going to shift pretty abruptly here for this number of 171 of Robert Rock. As you see, they're going around Eric Laurie right now. And then there's pretty much that whole pack here up to the 68 of David Overstreet. The one who got a great pit stop, though, Vicente Guerrero. We'll look out the back of that number 14 machine.
Yeah.
And he's liking where he is, and he's about to be a sitting duck here as the field that pitted a lap before. Yep. This is about a 30-mile-an-hour difference, it feels like, for Vicente. But he will be able to tag right onto the back of these guys, I believe. Probably should be safe. But this could get interesting here because this might split this pack up. Because right now we've got about... Actually, I think Vicente is going to kind of be the, what do you want to call it? Yeah, it's almost going to kind of be the one that kind of gets pulled in by David Overstreet and company, and then I think that'll then pull him back up to Randy Miner and company. So we're going to have to watch lap times here, Matt, because this is going to be very important here for these guys. So right now you got the top 6 with a breakaway, running 50.08 last time by. David Overstreet leading the second pack, ran a 58.22. But again, I think they're still kind of building up momentum after that pit stop. But what's going to happen is they're going to pick up a ton of draft here off of Vicente. As like I said, I think they're going to basically pull Vicente and then pull Vicente back up to those guys. So I think what's going to happen in the next couple laps is that 6-car pack is going to become pretty much a 15-car pack here as Tom Dixon trying to chase these guys back down here. And I'm going to watch this lap time this next time around here. And actually, you know what? Let's show everybody the lap time this time by. As here's our lap times on the last lap. Actually, if I set it on the right one, there we go. And so there's the 50.05, 50.06, and then look at that 49.40 for David Overstreet and Gary Jenkins and such. So that was the draft off of Vicente. So they will catch this main pack. So that's the answer right there. These guys are definitely right back into the mix here. So we're gonna have that probably about looks like 14 cars. I don't know if Tom Dixon's... He's going to have to pedal for all he's worth here and just hope that they lose a little bit of momentum for him to join that mix here. And then, unfortunately, Matt, we've got, again, the breakaway groups now. We've got Paul Turner, Dan Harrington with the 74, who right now is a lap down of Robert Jordan. And then you got to go back now to Dean Wilkinson, who's with the 96, the 08, and the 019. And right now they sit here in 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. So tough break roads, right? And again, for Dean right now, he is on the tail end of the lead lap. He's yet to make his second pit stop, obviously not scheduled. But we go back to leaders here because they found each other. And that group now is back to that 14 cars. And unfortunately, they did lose Tom Dixon. So Tom now, he's got about an 8-second drop basically for him to fall down into the hands of Paul Turner and company. So tough one for Tom here. But again, still lots of racing to go. Haven't even hit halfway. No guarantees that there won't be any yellows, as we saw last week's race or even Thursday's race. It wasn't until late that we got the yellow, but we got it, and it just completely changed the complexion of this one. So right now, though, Bud Steele trying to lead that second line here with help from the 101 of Randy Minor, I believe it is. But here comes the third lane, Vicente Guerrero. He's jumped up top. He's got the 18. He's got the 06. I think they got some teammates lined up here working together.
Not a surprise to see that 14 finally make his way toward the front end with a big head of steam. Is that a big push by Eric Laurie? I can't see right now.
Nope, that is going to be Zach Workman. Yep. And I believe Zach Vicente and Cody are all working together here. And you can see the two of them got cleared. Zach was not able to clear the bottom lane. He leads the middle lane now, as now they go back 2 by 2. But now Cody working to that outside line with the 101. He's actually jumped to the third lane by himself here. That's not going to go anywhere yet. But Vicente going to lead that lap here. And then these guys, so you know what? You guys go on ahead. You run that 3 by 3. You stay aggressive here. Gary Jenkins, Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, and JD Crow, apologies. They're just kind of cruise control right now. They're staying just far enough back here. If anything happens up front, they got room to react. They got room to move. But yeah, right now they're just kind of watching the show here because they know it's not time for them to show what they've got until we get to after that final pit stop.
I am very, very surprised that Dean did not pit. I'm just very surprised because that group he's running with, they're running about at least 2 seconds a lap slower than the rest of the pack.
Yeah, Dean's unfortunate in a bit of a tough spot right now in that 55. He was probably hoping for that yellow during the pit stop cycle, but yeah, for Dean, he's gonna have to pit pretty soon here. He last pitted at lap 16. All these guys pitted around 26, 27, so basically he's about 10 laps off sequence, which based on that, Matt, probably pitting around lap 40, I would suspect we'll see that number 55 machine back onto pit road. So we'll keep an eye on that for Dean here. But right now up front, though, you see the 06 now in front of you. I think you pretty much got the teammates here of Limitless. I believe it's Limitless there on the inside line of 06, the 14, and the 18. And now Kevin Freeze working with Bud Steele and the 101 of Randy Minor. But again, I think a lot of these guys, they kind of like where they're at right now. I mean, they've got a 14-car breakaway here. I mean, you pretty much cut the field in half right now. So it's like, hey, let's not get too crazy here because right now we could settle it amongst ourselves and maybe even this next pit stop, maybe we drop even a few more cars and make it even a smaller group to the finish.
Wow. That whole group is just stuck on the inside line. That's all three of them working together. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, so you're definitely happy when you get your teammates. Like when you can get a group of drivers all lined up together, it's not the easiest thing to do. When you can, yeah, it's definitely a pretty good feeling to have. As you see, Bud Steele, he's actually jumped to the top here. I think probably getting a little too hot in that 6 car, so it's going to be let the 101 take over. I see the 171 letting the 6 slide on in, or letting 6 slide back in position as they're coming up on. I believe that is the 69 machine, I believe, of Guy Bracco here. Yep. And that is going to put Guy 1 lap down here, which will put now he and Robert Jordan 1 down. As actually Ron Blackwell just went to pit road there. Not sure what happened to Ron, but that will continue. I say these guys will continue on by. And just a slight touch of the wall there by the 69. He hangs onto it though, and so he should be able to tag on right to the back of these boot knockers here, the 90, the 1, the 5, and the 071. But right now up front, these guys just kind of taking it cool here. And I believe, Kevin Freeze getting hung out now. These guys are picking on the boot knockers side. So we saw earlier with the 5 car. Now they're doing it to the 25, trying to get to the 3rd lane on him. So unfortunately for Kevin Freeze. Not quite clear there. More contact between the 25 and the 6 there. Yeah, these guys are getting a little dicey here. Again, like I said, they got to be careful. I mean, they've got a big breakaway here. Might as well stay separate of each other. But yeah, saying just weren't quite clearing and stuff like that. Sometimes it's easy to kind of stay. You just focus too much on that car in front of you, and unfortunately, sometimes you kind of drift a little bit down on that car next to you. But they're able to hang on to it and probably catch their breaths here and get back after it. But with all that changing going on, dude Conrad said, you know what? I'll take the lead here. Let me jump up top. So he's going to try to work the top there in that 8 as he's got help from the 101 of Randy Minor. And then, yeah, Kevin Freeze is going to join that party as well.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a moment there. Yeah, it's like that. Remember what we talked about before? When you're looking straight in that vision, you're locked right on the car in front of you. You're not paying attention to the guy to your left, and every time I've done it myself, and getting to the back getting to the guy to the left. It's you don't really mean to. It's just you got that tunnel vision of following that car just right in front of you, because you can't see what's going on.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Let's actually switch to Kevin Freeze. We'll try to listen in here and watch. And so, yeah, so all Kevin really much is able to see here is that Guinness sponsorship, the lovely lady drinking the beer. And then, so yeah, so a lot of times, especially like I said, for me as well, you kind of, that's what you're focusing on. It's like, okay, wherever this car in front of me is going, that's where I'm going to go. And so for Kevin right now, of course, if the 8 car is able to clear the 06 Cody Nagels, he can't go with him yet, because obviously they won't both be clear. So that's the thing you have to be very careful about when you're kind of pushing somebody and staying so committed to them, because like I said, you kind of try to drive as if you're one driver driving 2 cars. So if you see him move, you move. But again, say that car may be clear, your car may not be clear. And unfortunately, we've definitely seen that cause some incidents over the past couple of seasons here with Area 51. But so far, these guys holding pretty steady right now. I say Kevin probably has to cool that car down a little bit. He was really locked onto that 8 there for a couple laps. And it looks like he has given himself just a little bit of room, but they're going back after it. And as they, speaking of, TW working back to the top side, the 101 of Randy Miner, 171 of Robert Rock. Again, I think TW and Bad Company probably just kind of working in tandem here tonight. But right now it looks like they're both just trying to find their own way to the front as we're starting lap number 40 this time around, Matt. So again, these guys still need to go probably another 12 laps. I'd say get to about 52, 53. Honestly, even if for those that went to 27, if they go to 54, that would be all the better, just to make sure that they have no stress about fuel to the end. So I'm going to run through some drivers we haven't chatted much about here tonight, Matt. First of which is going to be the 07 Robert DuPont. He's just been pretty much in this main pack, just cruising really. I think I've pretty much seen him just running this yellow line, running the inside line from pretty much lap number 1 here. Just doing a great job, just keeping himself in contention, hitting his pit marks, not making mistakes so far, doing exactly what he needs to do to hang on and be in contention for this one. Same goes for that 68 of David Overstreet, plus 10 positions from his starting spot, so a great start for him in that country time machine. Also, I think also kind of on fuel save mode in that number 68. Obviously, we've seen Bud Steele up front and doing some big work early on. Looks like he's kind of backed it down a little bit, just kind of settling in here. And then Gary Jenkins, I think a fairly new addition to the Bootknocker organization, but he has definitely been one. And they've told me too, is like, watch for him. He's gonna start making some noise here pretty soon. And we've seen it in qualifying. He's got some really fast laps on his own. Just hasn't had the luck in the race yet. But obviously, that's when you never count out on these things. Yeah. And then obviously, I mean, you got Gabe, JD, Eric. I mean, we know those guys' track record speaks for themselves on these things. So not too concerned about those guys. And then unfortunately, you got to go back 23 seconds, Matt, to get to 15th position right here of Dan Harrington, who's got Paul Turner and Tom Dixon working along with him. And they've also picked up Robert Jordan, that 74, who is, I believe, 1 lap down, if I'm not mistaken. So unfortunately, tough sledding for these guys. And then, like we mentioned, also Dean Wilkinson. He's kind of off on his own, still kind of waiting for that strategy to work out for him. But
he might pit here pretty soon.
I say he's going to be pitting actually very soon out of this number 55. And actually on cue, here he comes. That's going to hand it over to Bob Fitzgerald there in 18th, and then Ivan Deschamps Fuzziator coming in along with him, and that 27 of Ron Blackwell still rolling through here as well. So these are the drivers that are still on track as we run. And up front, these guys continue to go 2 by 2, and so not a lot of change right now. It looks like Vicente and Cody trying to keep that 8 and the 25 at bay here as we're going to come to this time around to 36 to go.
Dean made a huge mistake.
And it looks like the 8 of Dude Conrad, he's got to the front, gets in front of the 06. That's going to let Kevin Freeze get some fresh air on the front grille of that 25 Kellogg's machine. But now the question is, can Kevin stay alongside the 06? Because if he can't, that could allow the 06 to try to jump in front of Kevin and make a move. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. because I'll say for Cody, he may not want to give up that top spot as of yet. So we'll watch. He is definitely clear here. So we'll watch to see if the 06 does he jump in front of the 25, or do actually both cars here might have a chance to clear, as Vicente is really close to clearing the 25 as well. But right now they all still are kind of staying lockstep, but now they are both most definitely clear. I say if I'm Dude Conrad, I get a little nervous here. They might try to jump you, but so far maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel here. Again, they led a lot of laps here early. I say that's one of those ones to say 5 times fast, Matt. Led a lot of laps early.
Yeah, I know what it's like to lead a lot of laps and not close the deal out. So, I just like where Zach Workman, Vincent Guerrero, Tom Biggs, pardon me, Robert DuPont and all them, Cody Nagels, sitting just letting the car in front burn all the fuel and sitting there and just coast. Saving fuel. It's all about the fuel. Because you want to have that last stop, you want to have the shortest stop possible.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able to shorten their stop enough where like maybe they don't have to plug in the second can of fuel. But yeah, any amount of fuel you can save is definitely to your advantage. And then I think also any amount of fuel that you can kind of add to your buffer, if you will, to make it to the end without having to top off, possibly on late yellows, I think also definitely to your advantage as well. So I want to keep an eye on those here. And looking for Dean Wilkinson, looks like he pitted at 41. It looks like it's a quick stop of 12-second stop for Dean there. But unfortunately, he's just now getting lined up with some drivers to draft back with here. It looks like it was the same group he was with earlier here. But yeah, so we're getting to it though, Matt, because we're coming around here at 34 to go. So probably about 7 more laps or so. I think that pit window is just about to start to open here. So at some point, we'll start to see these guys probably get aggressive, start getting greedy, and try to position themselves to be in the best spot for that potential final green flag pit stop. But I'm also noticing a few drivers dropping back just a teeny bit here. Bud Steele actually kind of joining that mix now as well. Falling back just a little bit, trying to play it a little bit safer, it looks like. However, though, Kevin Freese, he's been getting some big pushes from that 101, the 171. And I think he's going to clear that number 8 of Dude Conrad. And there he goes, sneaks right in front of the 8 car. So put those 2 teammates now locked onto each other on that bottom lane in front of the 3 Limitless teammates there on the bottom. And then he, like I said, he got that kind of that tandem partnership between TW and Bad Company working together on that second lane here as well.
Looks like Bud Steele is having a hard time getting to the bottom of the track. Lonely feeling up top. Yeah,
so Bud was kind of just cruising there for a little bit in the middle. And I'm wondering if maybe he was trying to get around that lap car there of Guy Bracco, and then when he tried to make that move, they didn't go with him. So, but they do have to be careful here, Matt, because they have fallen about a little over half a second behind. The 69 has a little bit of rear end damage, should be able to still safely hold the draft though. But like I said, I think these guys are definitely trying to work the draft number, or the field number I should say, here today. Going to lap 27 that first time, and then pretty much going straight back into that fuel save mode here. But yeah, these guys up front, definitely not a lot of fuel saving going on for them. Still running in the low 50-second bracket up front. And then looking for the next group right now. They're running in the upper 51s right now, so about a second half, 2 seconds slower. And they're over over half a lap, I apologize, behind the lead pack right now, showing about 32 seconds off the leaders, unfortunately. And so that's the next thing, Matt. Them being 32 seconds off the lead, we're running 50-second lap times. There's a very possible chance if we stay green, they may get caught by these leaders here before the end of this race. If they can't, like if the lead pack doesn't shrink, and if they kind of stay at the pace they're going. So this will be interesting as well. This could really, if we get into that situation, lap traffic towards the end of this thing, that could really shake up how this race is unfolding. But before they get to them, though, they're getting up to that group led by Bob Fitzgerald here, because they're only a couple of seconds in front. So I think this is going to happen right around the pit stop window, and that's always a little bit unnerving, is if you catch those guys right as you're trying to hit pit road. And yeah, they're actually, I think it's going to be well before pit road time, because they're just about to start picking up that draft.
Yeah, because they were running about 2x2. I think they are still running 2x2. So they need to be aware that the leaders are coming hot and heavy.
Yeah, and this is a track where you do have the room. Obviously, you need to get single file and probably jump to the wall here once the leaders get to you. They still got a little bit of time before that happens, so they can. But yeah, at some point you'll see probably the 019, the 27. They'll probably jump to the wall. As actually Dan Harrington, he's hit pit road here. This is a little early. Actually, Dan's got damage in that number 82 car, and I don't think it's from earlier. This is, I think, recent damage for Dan. I think that's why he's had to hit pit road here. But whatever happened, though, no yellow came out from it, unfortunately. So just a tough night for Dan, getting worse for him, unfortunately, in that number 82 Transformers machine. But, Matt, we're crossing lap number 50 here. So, again, probably a few more laps here before that window. Again, I think 52 to 54 is our most likely window for these leaders. Again, the later you can go, the better I feel. And you can see that group in front of them, they have jumped up to the wall. So, again, love the respect that we see from the competitors here. The race hasn't gone their way, but they're not going to go ahead and try to do anything to jeopardize the other drivers' races.
No, and I fully respect that. Competition is one thing, and you really don't want to spoil the outcome of the race. That's a big dagger. That's one of my pet peeves.
And you see the lead pack, they've all pretty much singled out here as well. But what this does do, though, is this is going to turn into a bit of a lucky dog battle now as well, because what you're seeing here is, I believe, as it runs, it's going to be the, I believe, the 08 here is going to be the first car one down. It's actually now, I believe, Trapstein Wilkinson 2 laps down at 55. Oh, caution out, actually, and it's in the back there right as we were talking about it. And I believe it's involving Fuzz Yater in the the 96. And trying to catch who the other driver was involved in this one. I think it may be Ron Blackwell. Yeah, it is as well. So that was what we're talking about there. So this is going to change everything. It's a huge break for some drivers. So let's watch to see what happens between the 96 and the 27. And this may have been one of those situations of trying to just give too much room. And oh yeah, you see the 96, he catches the wall a little bit. And then I think, again, then you just try to react and unfortunately gets back up into the wall once more. And then for the 27 to Ron Blackwell, there's just, again, the speed difference of when that all happens, just there's not a lot you can do. And so now the concern is, though, was there any contact with any of our front runners here? So you see once again, and yeah, that car just at that point, he's already along for the ride. And oh, I'm looking to the left, and this is going to get hairy. You see Gabe Butler saw
Crow got a piece of that too.
Yeah, I see Gabe. He's able to avoid it. JD. Oh, yeah.
The 071 got a hit of that too. Eric Laurie.
Yeah, Eric got a solid piece.
What a save by Eric Laurie. Oh, my goodness.
He drifted that car up against the inside wall there. That was well done, Eric. Unfortunately, some damage, probably a little bit of damage for JD as well, most likely. But, yeah, Eric, that's some good hands out of that number 071 John Deere machine there. So that puts us under our first yellow for tonight, Matt. It's going to save a lot of drivers here as well onto pit road because, again, there are some drivers that are about to get lapped there. We were just talking about there, so they're going to pretty much have to hustle and get back around here. And I believe the lucky dog is going to go to the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a great break for Bob. And then also you see Dean Wilkinson. He's going to stay out here, try to get one of his 2 laps back the old-fashioned way, just kind of waving around here as here comes the field heading on the pit road.
I'm still overwhelmed with that save. But as the leaders were passing, one interesting thing happened. Poor Dean Wilkinson got 2 laps down as soon as that caution hit. That's going to be a really, really hard deficit to overcome now.
Yeah, you see it looks like 4 tires in fuel, I believe, for the 5, or 25, I'm sorry, so that's going to drop him back a little bit, as everybody else looks like, I believe, probably 2 tires in fuel for them. So that's going to move. It looks like, again, the Limitless team here going to cycle back out to the front with Vicente, Cody, and Zach. And then Robert DuPont's going to jump up to 4th, and then David Overstreet going to round out our top 5. So what you have here is a comparison of drivers go ahead and top off on, fuel only or 2 tires, and then 4 tires and fuel for Kevin on back. And then looking at the pit stop time for JD and Eric Laurie, it was pretty much 15 second stop, so nothing really longer than anything else. Not sure if it's a fast repair or maybe they just didn't have any real damage, so may have lived to fight another day on this one. So, but Matt, what this does is pit stop is right at the edge of this window as we're going to be coming around. This time is going to be 25 to go. I feel like these guys are good to the end as they run, but I do foresee a lot of drivers topping off. But what we're going to do is we ran caution free for over 50 laps. We're going to step away for a second, catch our breath, get some water, and we'll be back here on the one to go. So stay tuned, everyone. Alright, lights are off the pace car. As you can see, got a mixed bag here. Looks like our top 7 drivers opted to go ahead and not top off on the one to go. And then from Zach Workman on back went ahead and topped off. However, hearing some potential major updates for Kevin Freeze. Potentially may have passed the pace car on pit entry, might have to serve a penalty under green. So we'll keep an eye on that number 25 to see how that shakes out. But what we have here, though, at this point, I think it's pretty much going to be a dash to the finish for these guys. Going to restart 24 to go. Scheduled distance fuel should be good to the end. However, still a little hesitation about if we get extended finishes on this one. We have 17 cars back on the lead lap as Dan Harrington took a wave round as well. It's going to be the front row of the 14 Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels on the outside. And you got 68 of David Overstreet and the 90 of Gary Jenkins here as it gets that restart zone, and they are down and away. We're going to restart this thing with 24 to go here at the line. And right away, the boot knockers jumping up top here to pick up JD Crow. It looks like I think they might be ready to make their names known. And yeah, they're going to jump to the top here to the outside of the number 06. And so I say they're ready to get to the top. You see the 14 Vicente, he's going to pick up his teammate there. But here they go, 3x3. Didn't take even a half a lap here, Matt. They are ready as Gary Jenkins is going to get to the point. Now, how many of them can clear the 14? Looks like 2 will follow through. Now the 2 more on the second lane. Oh, nope. They're going to have to stay in the third lane. Eric Laurie not quite clear. Oh, you see Cody Nagels.
Kind of close.
Yeah, Cody pretty much had to go. Oh, we got contact in the back. The 07.
Oh, no.
So far, everybody's hanging on to the 69, getting down to the apron, and I think everybody's hanging on to it. There's Kevin Freeze. He is on pit road indeed, so unfortunately, I believe that is that penalty you mentioned there, Matt. But yeah, this race is kind of pretty much turning on its head here. These guys they've maybe saved, and they're like, you know, we're done saving here. But we do have, though, is again, we're risk of separation here with everything that was going on there. Dude Conrad's going to have to try to hustle here because he's starting to lose ground to those guys up front to Paul Turner there in the 4 car. So right now it's pretty much an 11-car breakaway as they run. Kevin Freese is already off of pit road. Also, Bud Steele was on pit road for a very long amount of time. Not sure what happened to Bud as well, so apologies for missing that one out of the 6 machine. But yeah, I'm already starting to see the Limitless guys. They're starting to work the way towards the middle to the top here. I think they're backing it down to pick up the 14 of Vicente. I think they want to get organized here and try to get to that 3rd lane. And that's what's crazy about this, man. Yeah, there he goes. These guys are making their plans and making their strategies here with 22 laps to go. That's how important it is for these drivers here. I mean, these guys are just making these big moves early and often, and yeah, they're staying after it. So right now, Gabe's just got a nose ahead with his teammate Eric Laurie pushing over that number 90 of Gary Jenkins. And here comes that 3rd lane, though. Vicente with a head of steam already getting up alongside the 1 as they head into 3. But that 06 and the 18, they are not going to let anything go here. They're going to push for all they're worth here. And man, these guys are racing like we're 2 to go, Matt, not 22 to go.
If I had to guess what happened to Bud Steele, I'm guessing he forgot to check his fast repair and came back around a second time, and at that time it worked.
Yeah, it's possible, but unfortunately he is now 3 laps down, so it's going to be very difficult to recover from that. As we're watching that 2nd and 3rd lanes right now, you can see they've just about cleared the 90. But we've seen these guys, it seems like they don't want to go to the bottom. They seem like they want to stay committed. If they're in the middle, they don't really want to drop to the bottom unless they have to. And we saw that with Eric Laurie and the, oh man, almost again contact with the 06, or sorry, the 14 and the 1 there. We saw earlier with the 06 and the 071 where it was almost like Cody had to go to the apron as Eric Laurie was trying to get himself cleared there. But yeah, these guys are squeezing hard right now, Matt. Like I said, I mean, I don't know if you can if you can do this for another 20 laps here. And for some drivers, like unfortunately Kevin Freese, he's probably hoping they can't do it for another 20 laps because he wants a caution to get back in the thick of this thing.
Sure he does.
But yeah, so Dude Conrad, though, he has caught back up, as is Paul Turner. So these guys are back in the group. So great job by the 8 car. Unfortunately, from Robert Rock on back, they've got some work to do here to catch back up, about 1.6 back. But I think the gap is shrinking as, yeah, last time by they were almost a second quicker. But right now up front, though, these guys are just fighting tooth and nail. And it's definitely a fight between the top and the middle. And they got to be careful because they're coming. Oh, there's the 14. He clears the middle just barely. Oh, contact between the 1 and the 90. Can the 90 hang on to it? Oh, no, he catches the 08 above it.
Yeah,
Gerald. Yep, caution is out.
That was the caution Kevin Freese was looking for.
Yeah, it was, and Bob's still trying to hang on to that car, and he's going to catch the left front up on the inside wall, unfortunately, for Bob. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think, so with a big move by Vicente clearing Gabe then tried to get to the bottom to get in front of his teammate in the 90, but just, unfortunately, they weren't quite lined up there, and just a little bit of contact. I say definitely nothing intentional, but very, very aggressive racing. Let's back it up just a little further here so I can kind of get a full view of how it all kicked off here. And we'll get a better look as they head down the backstretch. So we'll see right here. There's Vicente. He just clears Gabe Butler by just the smallest of margins. Gabe then tries to cut low. And you can see just about the front tip of the nose of the 90 there wasn't. That's where the contact happens. And then Gary does everything in his power to try to hang on to this car here. But I mean, especially when he's entering the turn down on the apron, he's just going to wind up drifting up. And unfortunately, right there just catches Bob in the left rear. Bob just inches from clearing him, unfortunately, and then yeah, the yellow coming out. But again, I mean, great job by these guys, almost hanging on to it, and only having 2 cars involved after all of this was said and done is pretty impressive in itself. And unfortunately for Bob, just a little extra contact at the end there. But like I said, though, the big beneficiary is way back here. Kevin Freese, he's going to wave right on by that pace car, get back onto the lead lap, or I'm sorry, stay in the lead lap, I should say. As we're going to have the field here all debating on pitting or not. And it looks like most drivers staying out. We'll probably see the first to hit pit road is going to be, looks like, nope, not David Oshry. I would say probably, I'm surprised actually, Gary Jenkins stays out as well. It's going to be Robert Rock here hitting pit road with Robert DuPont and Harrington, Bob Fitzgerald. So yeah, a little surprised then Kevin Freese as well. But yeah, very surprised though that the 90 doesn't hit pit road there. I mean, he had a couple of contacts there. You would think he'd want to get hit pit road there to get some damage repaired out of that 90 car. So a little surprised about that. Caution, a big break here for the 69 of Guy Bracco. I believe will put him back on the lead lap here. And indeed it does here. And also I'm looking at the 1 car of Gabe Butler. Can't tell if he has any damage or not. If he does, it's very minimal. So I think he's probably okay here. But man, these guys looks like they're going to be no holds barred here for this final 18 or so laps here, Matt. So once again, let's step away for a moment and we'll rejoin you all on the one to go. So stay tuned. All right, lights are off on the pace car here, Matt. We're going to restart this thing with 16 to go. I mean, we already saw there with about 20 to go. This thing is getting spicy right now. These guys are, like I said, they're racing like it was 2 to go, not 22 to go. So I'm curious to see what we got left in store for us for these remaining possibly 16 laps. I say again, we got to bring up into the fact that there could be green-white checkers in this one. So you look on the inside, you got boot knockers on the bottom row with the 1 and the 071. On the outside, you got the 14 and the 06 lined up for Limitless. And then you got TW on the outside of Randy Miner, Zach Workman on the inside in the 18. And then you got Dude Conrad, another one of the boot knockers, along with JD Crow there. So there's a lot of teammates here pretty close together. David Overstreet and Paul Turner back into the top 10 as well. So again, we've got now, I believe we're back to 18 cars back in the lead lap that have a chance at this one. And so now Gabe has control of this restart. He can go as early or late as he chooses to, as he is saving every drop of fuel, it looks like, in the one car until he gets to the tri-oval. And now he's got control here, decide how early or late he wants to go. And I'm thinking he probably will wait till the absolute end, keep the field bunched up here, as there he goes, the green flag is out and we are back underway here. But pretty decent separation between the 1 and the 071 compared to the 14 and the 06, as Zach Workman, big move to the top there. They're definitely going to try to hang these guys out to dry on that inside line.
Yep, and a lot more well organized. Those two guys have been working together ever since they entered Area 51. They know each other's moves, they know each other's tendencies, and they work like peanut butter and jelly, as you would say.
Yeah, as you can see, the 14 just got the nose ahead. Looks like
look
he's
at that move by Randy
cleared.
Miner, and
Oh, contact again by the 14 and the 1. These guys are getting after here. No, a little further back, though. That accordion's heading back to David Overstreet. But looks like they're hanging on to it. But, Matt, this thing has gone from calm, cool, and collected to this is just going to be a barn burn the rest of the way. These guys are just holding nothing back here. Some big, aggressive pushing going on. And I say again, I feel like there might be some heat of the moment stuff going on here soon, but right now Gabe is just pushing that 14 for all he's worth. And then saying again for Gabe here, if he can get the 14 clear of the 06, we'll probably see him jump to the top here. And I'll say for Limitless, and you can see he was right there just about. I think he now has himself cleared. We'll see if he jumps to the top or not as he comes out of 2, and indeed he will. He's going to jump to the outside here. So now you got teammates working, kind of splitting the lanes here. You got one teammate pushing another teammate. There's the contact.
That was a very tight move there.
JD Crow in the wrong place, wrong time. Big hit to the inside. Wow. But the problem is, though, the field already cleared him as he got there, so he's going to try to loop this thing around. And we still stay under green, unfortunately, with that. But we'll go back. We'll take one more look at this as they continue to go 2 by 2. But, man, these guys are going after, like I said, they're being very aggressive right now. And you'll see there's a big move right here. The 101 there drops to the inside. And unfortunately for the 8, right down into the side of the 5. And then for JD Crow, I mean, there's just absolutely nothing you can do at this time. You're just a passenger here. And then big hit there. And then what happens, though, unfortunately for JD, is by the time he spins back out on track, the field's all gone. So iRacing sees no reason to throw the yellow. And so, unfortunately for JD, just have to limp that thing back to pit road, which he's just about done. So we got more contact in the back. These guys are going after it here. Now you got the 68 and the 411 down the inside wall. And still no yellow out on this one. It's also saw Gabe Butler down the apron. This is getting a little wild here, Matt. And I say we're going to have to go back once more to see what's going on, because while this has all happened, though, Paul Turner to the front in that number 4 machine. Kevin Freeze trying to push him clear. They both clear. Kevin to the bottom here. He's going to try to drop the 4. And looks like now the 4 and the 25 leading these lines. But let's go back once more here, another half lap to try to find what happened exactly now with Gabe Butler and company. Because something, once again, you see Gabe already down the apron. We'll back it up one more time here, as it maybe just been a push there. Oh no, actually that's into the 14 and got right into the side of the 1 car there. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, if it was maybe a push that got the 14 unsettled or what. But man, these guys are getting a little aggressive here and a little wild, to put it nicely. So so they're gonna have to kind of reel it in a little bit here. And unfortunately for the 4 car, you see he was up there, and now he's gone shoved way on back here. So right now you got the 06 and the 18 leading the inside line, the 07 of Robert DuPont leading the outside line in front of the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. But man, at this point, Matt, I mean I don't know what to expect here on this one. Like I said, unfortunately, just some of these guys having 0 breaks, getting involved in these incidents, and just nothing they can do. David Overstreet, Tom Dixon, JD Crow, just innocent bystanders, and unfortunately, just still again no yellows with them being thrown by iRacing.
Look at Robert DuPont.
Yeah, and that's the thing is with all these guys kind of seeming like they're going after one another. This is a good opportunity for Robert here. I mean, he can maybe take advantage while these guys are fighting amongst themselves. Like, all right, you guys kind of keep going after each other. I'm just going to go ahead and do my own thing here. But yeah, some of these guys, I mean, we're going to see them regroup, obviously, at some point in this one, as now you see the 06 jumping back in front of the 14. Again, a little bit of contact there.
Teammates!
Yeah, this is all going wild right now. As you see, Gabe Butler saw what was going on. He's jumped to the top side, but no help as of yet for the 1. He's going to jump back down to the inside. And, man, I really don't think we're going to be able to sustain this for another 10 laps here. But we now have those. We got the Limitless guys all lined up together now in the middle lane. Robert DuPont's got help from Kevin Freeze. You got Eric Laurie right there in the 071. And then look at these guys that are kind of popping into the mix here as well. Yeah. Dude, Conrad, he's found his way back up into this mix even after that big contact. So, man.
You know what? Yeah, I know. Look at these drivers who are up at the front right now. 07, how many Air 51s wins does he have? I think 0.
I'm not sure.
Look at the 18. Zach Workman, 0 Air 51s wins. Look at Robert Jordan sitting right there in 6th spot. 0 Area 51 wins.
Well, I think Robert's now first car one down. So unfortunately, Robert, he's not in. He's fighting for the lucky dog right now over Dean Wilkinson, because Dean is right here too in the 55. He's going to try to get his lap back, but I think some of these guys are probably having to regroup. I also wonder how much damage some of these cars have too, because I'm seeing a couple of drivers here, like the one car, Gabe Butler. Either he's just backed it down, or that car might be suffering where he just can't hold the draft as well as he'd like to. I mean, he took a pretty solid hit earlier on, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that one machine. As you see, some more drivers jump to the outside, but these guys are starting to split up just a little bit here. So, yeah, not sure on this one. It's getting, like I said, it's gotten a little bit wild here towards the end of this thing, but we're down to single digits here, though, Matt. 9 to go. We still got Robert Dupont just a nose ahead as they run here, but again, still lots of racing to go. We're going to see that third lane happen. The question is going to be who and when. Right now, the closest for position is going to be that 101 of Randy Minor.
Yeah, that's who I predict. I predict the 101 to go up top and the 4 car to follow. But
or how about the 4 car goes first?
The 4 car has go first, and look who he's got pushing.
And this is big because Dean Wilkinson right now, right there, there's the 74, there's 55. That's the lucky dog battle. So Dean pushing the 4, and look at Vicente. He's actually going to jump and try to slow that momentum down. And these guys, again, I mean, we're still got 9 to go, 8 to go here at the line. Boys. They don't need to make these big moves yet, guys. But with that move by Vicente, look at Kevin Fries. He's found his way to lead the middle lane in front of the 18. And there they go. They try to get to the outside of him. Nice, they jump back down.
Very patient there, Randy. Very patient. I love it. He's just waiting for his spot.
So they're going to regroup again for Paul Turner. He's going to try once again here. We'll see if that third lane is able to form. Dean Wilkinson once again pushing. Now they get to the outside of the 14. They're working onto the second run. I see the 18 able to clear the 25. They get down to the inside here. And like I said, man, I don't know. This one has a feeling like at some point in this one it's going to just all end in tears before we get to the finish here.
No. You know what? We're going to have a first time winner. I'm going to predict it right now, right here.
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's definitely something going on because we definitely have some drivers that are in trouble here because Gabe Butler, he's lost the draft. That one car, he's got some pretty extensive damage. I think he's just trying to limp this thing along. He's got Dude Conrad, looks like, kind of pick him up a little bit, try to help as he can. But yeah, so right now the field's spreading out a little bit here. Looks like about 13 cars now on this lead pack here, all the way back to the 69 guy Baracco. But right now, look at that Ford car, though, Matt. We're talking about him. He was trying to get there earlier, kind of had the momentum blocked. He's back up there again now to the side of almost the 06, almost into the side of the 4 there. And yeah, Chris, you're very different types of aggression here tonight, and it's very apparent aggression. But right now it's wild. But right now you got the 25 leading the inside, 18 leading the middle, 4 leading the outside, and we're getting down to it, Matt. 6 to go this time by at the line. Again, these guys got to make sure that they don't get these cars too hot. We saw the 55 pop the motor earlier, and we don't want to see that again, especially when these guys are packed up 3 by 3, 4 rows deep here. And yeah, I mean, and again, drivers that are out of the running but still in this race, though. I mean, look at Bud Steele. He's 21st, multiple laps down. He's trying to help that third lane go as well, so there's a lot happening in this one. Dan Harrington's still in the mix here, trying to find where he can put that car. But yeah, this is getting fun.
Wild. 3 of the top 5 cars have not gotten Area 51 yet. Area 51 win. I'm telling you, we're going to see a first-time winner here today.
There is a good chance, but first for that to happen, they're going to have to get around that car right there of Kevin Fries. And I say Kevin is going to be a tough one to get around, especially if he's going to, because he's going to feel like he's got to do everything he can to hold off these guys around him. And like I said, this to me, like I said, I feel like this could open up that opportunity for that car right there in the inside, Robert DuPont. If they start worrying about each other too much, they'll forget about that third car possibly, be it the 07, be it the 4 car. Like I said, that could be a great opportunity for Paul Turner and Robert DuPont. So first, though, Matt, we got to go, 3.5 more laps before we get to the white flag, and then at that point, all bets would be off for the finish. So, but first, like I said, first we got to get there, and then we'll see what happens at the end.
Oh, man. Who is going to make a move and where? Because it looks like Kevin Fries is trying to work both lanes, and it's looked like it's going to backfire him because that 07 is going to take the point here.
It just depends on where the push is, and yeah, I think right now for Kevin, he's going to try to work both lines, And yeah, it's every so often, like I said, this time you can see Robert DuPont is able to get to the inside of him. Earlier, he was able to do this and stay in front of Robert DuPont. So it's just, I think the question is just where do you feel you want to be? Because yeah, do you trust the 18 to stay with you? Do you think he's going to try to jump you 3 at the end of this race? There's so many decisions, and it just, yeah. And see there again, he's able to get the push he needs, jumps to the bottom, and able to get back in front of Robert DuPont. So, but yeah, you're right though. Eventually though, he's going to make that move, and it's not going to work out for him. But that third lane is starting to reform again. They're trying to make that big charge again, as that 4 of Paul Turner getting that big help from Dean Wilkinson here. I said Dean again, he's fighting for his lucky dog here, because right on the inside of the 74, that's the lucky dog spot. So these guys are pretty much back and forth who's in front at the right time. We're down to 3 to go.
I think Dean is waiting for that right exact moment when to push him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Keep it cool until maybe probably until you take the white, and then at that point all bets will be up, because you know at that point there's no yellow. So then you just basically push that thing till it pops. So yeah, the cooler you can keep it, the harder and longer you can push these things. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because right now you can see Kevin, he's got just a nose ahead over that 18. Now he clears the 18. Do we see him make that move back to the middle out of 4 like he's done before? And the answer is yes, he goes straight to the middle once more. But this time the 18,
look at the 18. Look at both cars. They're going to run to the outside of Kevin Freeze.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about, is he would do it, and at some point they would try to ditch him. But now he gets pushed from Vicente. We're down to 2 to go here. Now who has the momentum here? The inside so far surging ahead. Eric Laurie just a nose ahead here. As now the 74, the lucky dog. Oh, the 71, Eric Laurie. He jumps to the middle. Oh, these guys are moving. No contact.
Good save.
Still hanging on to it. Great save by the 74 there. And then Eric Laurie's going to lose all his momentum.
Look at that move by Vicente. Oh, my goodness.
He's going to have to build momentum back up, though. So now we're down to it here, Matt. They still got to get through these last set of turns before the white.
Watch that second lane of Randy Miner and Dean Wilkinson. They are teammates here.
Yeah, that would be a potent duo as well, the 101 and the 55. But again, they got to still get through this trial before it is an official race to the checkered. As almost contact by the 4 and the 18, but they keep it pointing in the right direction here, Matt.
We got the white here.
We will finish under regulation now. Will it be Randy Miner? Will it be Robert DuPont? Will it be somebody else? Wait for that third lane at some point will form. But who will it be?
I don't think we're going to get a third lane here. I really think that a 25 is ever so slightly is probably going to cut in front of the 101, but it's not going to happen. Look at that push by the 55. He's pushing for all it's worth.
There's big separation though between the 101 and 55. That's going to let the inside line surge here. Robert DuPont's going to pretty much have to drive off his mirror here through 3 and 4, because this is where you wish you were at Daytona, not Talladega, because he's out of 4. He has the lead here, but Kevin Freeze is going to jump to the top. Here's the momentum shift.
Look at Randy Miner. He's going to the outside. He's got the momentum.
It's going to be tight at the line.
Into the checkered flag. It is going to be
Randy Miner. Randy getting the win with that late push from the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Robert DuPont looks like we'll get second. Kevin Freeze in third. Like you said, Matt, it was big. I thought it was too late. They had the separation, but man, you're right though. Dean Wilkinson, he got hooked up. He got to the 101. And he's able to shove him to the front when it counted at the end. Let's watch one more time that big charge to the start-finish line, because you were spot on there. He jumps to the top right there coming into the tri-oval. And like I said, if it was Daytona, it's a whole different story. But look at the commitment from the 55. Gets to that TW Motorsports car. And then it is just all a push to the finish here. What a finish with these guys. You see Eric Laurie was able to give the 07 a little shove there on the inside as well. But man, oh man, these guys were going after it here. We'll try to see if we can pull it right at the line, get a good finish here. But you can see easily cleared there. And then it was tight between the 07 and the 071 there in the 25. But yeah, wow. clear top 3 there. Nice. But Randy Miner clearly our winner here this evening at Talladega.
I love first-time winners.
So we'll jump back live here and we'll watch that 101 of Randy Miner. He's going to be doing plenty of celebrating here. As I say, a big win for that 101 machine. But man, just a lot going on there tonight. That was a lot of stuff happening. Like I said, a lot of aggression, a lot more aggression. Not sure if this was a full moon race or what, but these guys were going at it right now. But Randy Miner, like I said, well-deserved finish. put himself in the right
Yes,
spot, made the
sir.
right moves, gets the big win here. So, Matt, while we continue to watch him celebrate, we got to pull up our top three. So, we're going to kick off with Kevin Freeze in that number 25 machine. So, let's find Kevin over here. We'll get things kicked off with that number 25. There he is. Let's get him on in for an interview as we pull up our third place finisher, Kevin Freeze. And Kevin, I've been doing this a while. I don't know if this is a full moon race or what was going on tonight, but man, these guys were cranked to 11. It seemed like once that final green flag pit stop came about, or actually I should say caution pit stop came about. I mean, it was just night and day. Everybody's calm, cool, and collected, saving fuel, running the numbers, and then once you guys hit your fuel number, I mean, it was like a light switch. I mean, take us through. You were in front a lot in this race, kind of controlling the field. I mean, how obvious was it and apparent was it for you, or it's like just, I mean, was it for you the same as us, or it's like, what just happened?
Well, I missed some of this stuff that was going on in the pack because after that, I somehow got a passing under yellow. I want to go back and look at, or yeah, passing under yellow going into the pits there. So I had to serve the hold, which may have saved me from that yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But after that yellow came out, it was very aggressive. It's fun. I think that's fun.
Oh, yeah.
The best way to race when you can be aggressive, and it was also clean aggressive. It wasn't dirty, which is even better.
So what I gathered up, we think that you passed a pace car before you crossed the commitment line. I think that's probably what did it. That did it to you.
Yeah, I looked quickly when I went back in to top off. It's close, but I've now done that twice recently, so I got to learn with that.
Yeah, so like you said, I mean, started on pole position here tonight, and then led a bunch of laps, and yeah, had to recover. Like you said, got the caution you needed to get back into the thick of things. But then, I mean, yeah, I mean, and then towards the end, you had a couple incidents that drivers kind of spun off track onto the apron, and then by the time they bounced back up onto track, the field is clear, so it stays under green. So unfortunately, that's kind of that live by the sword, die by the sword, if you will, for the iRacing cautions. But yeah, and then like I said, I mean, and then at the end, I mean, it was everybody for themselves. We saw you work both lanes there, trying to stay in front of Robert, trying to stay in front of the 06 of Cody, just trying to kind of look like just go where the momentum was. And then Matt and I kind of had that feeling at some point you were going to jump to the middle, and they'd probably try to ditch you there in the middle, which we've seen a few drivers happen to them tonight as well. So was that a concern at all? Did you feel like you still had to make that choice no matter what, or did you kind of have that feeling like, I'm going to do this at some point, they're probably going to ditch me?
Well, I figured I would get ditched, but I wasn't even. They had such a run. I knew also I had Eric behind me, and he was going to be in a position that he was going to push Robert, which helped him get would keep his finish pretty safe. And that was the reason I went up, was I was just trying to break that momentum, because I think we may have been okay, but it was a big run coming from the top, because I think they had cleared 3 wide, but I'm not 100% sure. So I was just trying to do the safe saying. I went and told them that I was trying to take care of them there on the last lap, stayed with them as long as I could. But a lot of the switching back and forth with lanes was the car was getting really hot really fast, so I was trying to get them as much air as I could.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, you enjoyed the aggressive side of things. Matt and I were trying to keep up because it was wild here tonight, man. But great job, like I said. Unfortunately, you didn't have that pushing partner you needed at the end. But still a really good result for you getting that podium here tonight. So definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that third this evening.
Yeah, huge thanks to you and Matt for doing the broadcast. They're fun to go back and watch and see some of the things we get away with. It's always nice also to go back and just, because this was a really 2 cautions. That's a great race. Thanks to you. Thanks to the Area 51 admin, all of Team Bootnaka, and all the drivers tonight.
Now go have some fun. Go enjoy this one, Kevin, and go finish up the finish of the Cup race. Again, no spoilers over here, so enjoy the finish of that one, man, and look forward to seeing you again here soon, sir.
All right. You have a good night.
All right, with that, we got to jump over to our runner-up finisher, and I won't lie on this one. This was definitely one I was rooting for. Say if there was a driver I'd love to see get the win here tonight, it was gonna be that '07 Robert DuPont. And Robert, it was looking so good, and that sneaky third line, they got that big charge at the end. You're able to grab second still at the absolute last moment there. But I mean, just take us through it, because I mean, you've been up front a lot in these races lately. Just haven't had the overall push you need at the very end, or be in the right spot at the right time. And it almost worked out to perfection tonight. But I mean, this was a rough one. These guys were going after tooth and nail for that final 15 or so laps. I mean, how tense was it for you behind the wheel of that '07 machine?
Well, man, at that point, I don't know, man. My heart rate stays kind of the same, so I kind of remain calm during all that. But man, that was a close one, guys. Right, man, that was almost there. But
Almost.
it was unfortunate. Got second, and I'm very pleased with that. Good for the pulse, and every week I know, have a decent finish for that. For those points.
Oh yeah, 100%. We've been like what Gael said. You've been up front every single week, and eventually that win is going to come. Just keep doing what you're doing, and I'm watching you from the booth, and it's very impressive what you've been doing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to thank Dr. Painting and Power Washing, DuPont Motorsports, and Area 51 for putting on all these great events. Jimmy Crow, man, he was a good spotter. He really helped me tonight when I needed him, at the most of those last laps. And yeah, it was a great finish.
So you've got your interview practices down. It looks like, so you didn't even give me a chance to let you get into things and shout outs. You're on it already here, and yeah, so, I mean that the car, the paint scheme, I say it's perfect. I say it stands out really well. I say I'm guessing. I say I'll have to ask as we get the opportunity to. With your last name with DuPont, so I say with the paint scheme, is that kind of the play on words with the DuPont Automotive finishes, kind of with the Jeff Gordon and paint schemes and such?
That's a 10-4. Not so much Jeff Gordon, but yeah. And then I kind of picked that William Byron paint scheme, which I kind of liked. And then I got a good painter for trading paints, and he changed the colors a little bit, so it's more mine. Put my logos on there, and yeah, it's a beautiful truck, car. And then my truck's the same as well. All my vehicles kind of got that same logo.
No, it's a really good looking ride, and you did it very well tonight there, getting to that runner-up spot. I say, I don't know if you have any. I say, if you have any other things to shout, so I say definitely want to give you the floor. I say once more for an awesome runner-up here tonight, Robert.
Yeah, I want to say, man, let's put our blessings for Jim Brooks out there. Let's put our hearts and prayers for him. And it's, I love racing with all those guys out there, man. They're a bunch of good racers. And, man, that's why I'm here. I like pack racing. I enjoy pack racing more than I enjoy just winning. I don't even care about that too much. But that's why we're all here. We love pack racing.
Well, I don't think there's been too many people in opposition with you tonight, because it was wild. And I mean, Matt and I are trying to just keep our composure during the race as well. So great job tonight, Robert. Like I said, been doing really well all season long. Finally able to kind of get the result that is shown for what you've got going with this thing. So looking forward to seeing more of that. And like I said, though, that being said, great points. Playoffs are looming. So look forward to try to get in that top 8 and go for that title.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And you guys have a blessed one.
You're the same, brother.
All right, Matt, that leaves us one driver left to chat with. That is going to be our race winner in that number 101 of Randy Meyer at TW Motorsports Ford Mustang. And Randy, it was wild tonight, but you got hooked up with an old buddy there in that number 55 of Dean Wilkinson. And we mentioned, it doesn't matter if it's TW, if it's going to be the other team there as well. I say, got to get the Bad Company together. I say, you've got your buddies, you've got the guys you race with week in and week out, and you kind of know each other. And I say, if you get a chance to help one of the other out there, that's probably what's going to happen. And you and Dean got hooked up, and it looked a little iffy. I must admit, I was a little doubtful coming out of into 3 there. I was like, they're separated. I don't know if they're going to have the momentum. But then you made that great move to the top, just entering the tri-oval, and then got that push all the way through and easily cleared for the win tonight. I mean, just take us through the move, and I mean, take us through the race, because you also had to kind of get through some craziness to even get to have a chance at this win tonight.
Yeah, there were a couple close calls tonight. I got tapped a couple times, but no damage. I was able to keep running. And, yeah, coming out at the end there, Dean was behind me, and we kind of got separated, and I don't know what happened that everybody got split up on the bottom, but all of a sudden they slowed up, and then I had a big opening on the outside, and luckily Dean, uh, kind of a teammate, we got split up this season, but luckily he was able to push me to the win.
Yeah, so we'll call it an affiliate or sister team or whatever you might have it. But I mean, yeah, it was a great job. Like you said, I mean, there was definitely some close calls, some avoidance, and some quick moves had to be made there. But yeah, able to get the win here tonight and say, so I don't have the stats on me. I'm not sure if this is your first Area 51 win or not, but I mean, I know you've been in contention in a lot of these, working with teammates over the course of the season. Like I said, with TW over the past seasons, and then of course being a little different when things kind of splitting the teams up into fours. I mean, has that made any real difference for you, or is it just kind of maybe a little bit quieter in Discord, but kind of when you see the guys that you know and trust, it's like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what my plan is going to be if we get down to it.
Well, for splitting them up and having be quieter in Discord, I didn't have no teammates in Discord tonight, and yeah, this is my first win because I've been having internet problems. I blink out every once in a while, so I just shoot for a top 10. I got to be careful. I blink out, and hopefully it's fixed now. And I said I'm going for it tonight.
Yeah, you only had one issue tonight. You really didn't have much of a problem here tonight. I was watching the whole time. I was telling Gaio, I love first time winners, and it just intrigues me. It's just like it's that sigh of relief. You've finally done it, and then that monkey's right off your back. And once again, I just congratulations.
Feels good. Probably don't make for a good interview for a first timer, but yeah, it feels good.
Hey, if you're here with us, it's all that matters, brother.
Nah, that's again, I mean, a great job. You made all the right moves at the right time, got the big win here tonight, and say, like Matt said, we definitely love our first time winners, and say definitely try not to be biased on it too much, but yeah, I mean, there's no getting around. I mean, those are always really popular wins throughout the leagues, no matter what series it's in. So definitely want to give you the floor here, Randy, for any thanks and shots you'd like to give for that big win tonight.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Area 51 League and Green Light Checker. You guys do an awesome job. All the league administrators, they do a good job at keeping everybody under control. And it gets pretty tight sometimes. So, yeah, and wish everybody a good Labor Day.
All right, man, we'll get you back over to your teammates. Go enjoy this one. Go celebrate.
And also Jim Brooks, hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Love the well-wishes, guys, and definitely can report he's definitely been improving little by little. Got to see him a little bit more today, so definitely enjoying it. Say he's definitely getting the itch to get back on track as well. So hopefully we'll see him on track here soon. But yeah, go enjoy this one, Randy. We'll get you back over to your teammates, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Matt, we got our first time winner in that number 101 of Randy Miner. And yeah, like I said, to say first time winners always a lot of fun to have. And yeah, indeed is his first one. He did have a runner up here a few seasons back in 2021 season 3. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, I mean, he's been in contention, just like I said, hasn't been able to put it all together. But tonight, able to get the big win here. Like I said, and again, it's always going to take help. And tonight, got the help from Dean Wilkinson. And Dean is smiling ear to ear as well, because it feels good when you can push a friend and a teammate to wins. It's definitely a very special thing as well. So it's almost like Dean probably won that race himself, and it'll pretty much erase any frustrations Dean had from his race going bad. Yeah. So, what a wild one though, Matt, tonight. Like I said, kind of a tale of two races once again. The first race, or first half of it, real calm. Everybody's running the fuel mileage, and then once they hit that pit window, man, it was just like a light switch flipped, and everybody kind of put their helmets on a little tighter and got a little more aggressive, a little greedier, and they're going after it tonight.
Yeah, and in the end, and I told you this was going to happen. We had a first-time winner here tonight, and like I said, hats off to him. Just overall, you see this every week between these guys, teammates, friends. You have to have friends to win races. And right here tonight, it proved that you need friends.
Yep, exactly. Ryan saying definitely made some friends this evening in that number 101. And with that, Matt, before we get anywhere else, we got to pull up our final results to see where all of our drivers finished this evening. So let's pull on those results. As you see, Randy Minor with the win there by 79 hundredths of a second over Robert DuPont. Kevin Freeze there in third. Eric Laurie and Paul Turner rounding out our top 5. And then continuing on, you got Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, Dan Harrington, Zach Workman, and Robert Rock, our top 10. And Bob Fitzgerald, a kind of a quiet but solid 11th place finish for him. I think he was probably one of the ones that was just kind of playing it cool and easy towards the end there. Then you got Guy Bracco, and then Gary Jenkins, Gabe Butler, Jude Conrad. Unfortunate that whatever happened that contact with the 14-1 definitely seemed like it affected the one's top end at the end. And then Dean Wilkinson, of course, first car one down, but he doesn't care about that, pushing his teammate of the 101 to the win tonight. And then Ivan Deschamps in 17th, Robert Jordan in 18th. And we'll get to the final finishers here of Tom Dixon, J.D. Crow, Bud Steele, Fuzz Yater, David Overstreet, Ron Blackwell, and David Bond. And again, a couple unfortunate incidents that didn't bring out yellows definitely ended some nights early this evening. But say the one who was able to get there first is right there on screen, that 101 of Randy Minor. So Matt, as always, sir, a pleasure doing these races with you. Hope everybody watching supported it. Chris, loved having you on the chat tonight. Hope you are doing well. We'll chat soon as well. So we'll be back on Tuesday night for the Indy Series. So stay tuned for that over at Worldwide Technology Raceway, a.k.a. Gateway.
Sir.
So a lot of fun over there. Two different turns there. Should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. Until then, take care. Have a good night, and we'll see you all on Tuesday.